What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former unified lightweight world champion, Australian star boxer George Kambosos Jr., 20 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout. He is 29 years of age, 5'9" with a 68-inch arm reach, is preparing for his highly anticipated rematch. And George Kambosos is using a former 4-division world champion superstar boxer, Adrien Broner, to prepare him as motivation for his upcoming rematch with undisputed lightweight world champion superstar boxer Devin "The Dream" Haney. Devin Haney is 28 wins, no losses, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout. He is 23 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach. Okay, they fought June 4th in Australia, June 4th in the States, June 5th in Australia. And Devin Haney pitched a shutout, outclassing and dominating George Kambosos Jr. en route to a unanimous decision victory and becoming the first four major sanction belt lightweight undisputed world champion in the history of the sport of boxing. So George Kambosos, in the lead up to that first fight, he did a lot of talking because he shocked the world. He upset former unified lightweight world champion superstar boxer Teofimo Lopez. And nobody saw him coming. So he did a lot of talking in the buildup of Devin Haney. Okay, he faced adversity in the fight with Teofimo Lopez. He dropped Teofimo Lopez. Then he was dropped himself in the fight. He got up, faced adversity, and got the victory over Teofimo Lopez. So that was motivating. And that built up George Kambosos and blew up his head a little bit, right? And he did a lot of talking in the buildup for this fight with Devin Haney, how he was going to dominate the email champion, who was the WBC undefeated lightweight champion. Devin Haney, he was going to, he was using Devin Haney as a stepping stone en route to a showdown with 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 3-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, Ukrainian superstar boxer Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko. So these are the things George Kambosos was saying, that Devin Haney wasn't a real champion. He had no power. He was boring. He had a lot to say. Well, when Devin Haney pitched the shutout and dominated Kambosos, George Kambosos got very, very quiet, okay? And now they're going to fight October 15th, this upcoming Saturday, in Australia, once again, a media rematch, okay? And George Kambosos, he said that he's going to take a different route. He's going to be quiet, right? He's going to focus on the fight itself. He's not going to do a lot of talking. He's going back into his shell. He's going to focus on the fight itself. And, we see in his media day workout, he has Adrien Broner playing in the background, right? So he's taking a page out of Adrien Broner's book. Okay, so he's focusing on this fight, and he's using many different fighters and fights, to help motivate him for this fight. Now, he did state after the fight, obviously, there's always a bit of delusion when you take a loss. And George Kambosos, after the fight, he stated that he felt that the judges didn't give him a fair shake on the cards. Now, if anybody wasn't going to get a fair shake on the cards, it was seen to be Devin Haney, seeing as though he's traveling miles and miles away to the down under to Australia, which is nearly a day ahead of the United States, okay, at least in the East Coast, right? And so anybody thought that they was going to get a short end of the stick on the cards would have been Devin Haney, not George Kambosos, who is, from Australia and was viewing himself as the emperor, coming back. And, he had so much to say in the lead up to that fight. OK, and George Kambosos, he stated that the judges didn't give him a fair shake. But then he said he was just, outclassed by Devin Haney. He needed to make some adjustments, go back to the drawing board. And now he knows that he calculated and computed enough information over the 12 rounds he did share the ring with Devin Haney, that he needed to be victorious against Devin Haney in the rematch. Okay, I don't know how you need to get dominated for 12 rounds to make an adjustment. You should have made an adjustment before the 12 rounds was over. Okay, you make adjustment on the fly in the ring. He didn't do that. Okay, he didn't make any adjustments on the fly. He didn't make any adjustments in the ring, and thus the reason the outcome was the outcome. Now, I don't think that physically he could have made many adjustments because Devin Haney is so technically and fundamentally sound. He's quicker than George Kambosos. He has extremely long arms. He's taller than George Kambosos, and he has enough pop to keep you honest. Everybody loves to talk about the power or the lack thereof power when it comes from Devin Haney, but nobody talks about, how nobody attempts to walk right through Devin Haney. Nobody ever looks to walk right through Devin Haney. No, everybody respects him. Nobody's overly getting irresponsible and pressuring Devin Haney. But everybody tells you that Devin Haney doesn't have much punching power. But you don't see anybody walking through his punches. Just like many people used to state that Floyd Mayweather, retired legendary, iconic, Hall of Fame superstar boxer, Floyd Mayweather had no power. But, you saw maybe a handful of fights and a handful of fighters that was willing to walk through his punches to try to get to him. That was the Miguel Cotto fight, the first Maidana fight, even the second Maidana fight. He didn't attempt to walk through his punches. The Jose Luis Castillo first fight, but in the second fight, he didn't attempt to walk through his punches, right? Because the movement, the timing, the accuracy of these fighters, the punches you don't see is the ones that hurt you the most, okay? They have great timing, they shock you, and they have respective power, okay? So you may not think they have the most punching power, but they do have respective power that you have to respect. And, nobody's willing to just attempt to walk through their punches, okay? So with that said, George Kambosos Jr. wasn't willing and eager to attempt to walk through Devin Haney punches. And so he stayed at the end of the jab. He was getting outboxed. Devin Haney never even took the fight. He never took his game out of first gear. He just simply didn't. Okay. He just didn't need to take his game out of first gear. Right. And maybe second gear at most, if you being generous to give George Kambosos a round. He completely shut out and dominated George Kambosos, point blank and period. Okay. And it wasn't even close, to the point where many people, including myself, didn't even see a need or a reason to have a rematch. Point blank and period. I didn't see a reason to have a rematch. I don't see many adjustments that George Kambosos is going to make in this fight. And it's ironic, right? Because George Kambosos wasn't very active in this fight. And so while he's using motivation videos of playing of Adrien Broner fighting, Adrien Broner is somebody that's, known to not let his hands go. Okay. So it's pretty ironic that he's using Adrien Broner, and his Adrien Broner fights are playing in the background while he's doing his media workout, and preparing for this fight with Devin Haney, when Adrien Broner is somebody that's viewed as has all the talent in the world, but just don't let his hands go. Whether he don't have the durability because of his lifestyle, in between fights, or he just simply don't have the mindset to let his hands go. But since Adrien Broner suffered his first loss to Marcos El Chino Maidana, Adrien Broner, 34 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 24 wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'6", with a 69-inch arm. Since he suffered his first loss against Marcos El Chino Maidana, Adrien Broner had stopped letting his hands go. He just was not active in the ring. And if you look at the fight with George Kambosos and Devin Haney, that was the knock on George Kambosos, whether it was the game plan, the lack thereof game plan, whether it was adjustments or lack thereof of adjustments, or was it just simply the skill set and the physical nature and the dominance of Devin Haney. George Kambosos wasn't very active. Maybe he just could not be active. He just couldn't let his hands go. Okay, because of the attributes and the talent and the approach of Devin Haney that just didn't allow George Kambosos to let his hands go and be active. Okay, and so because of that, he lost clearly. Okay, it wasn't a close fight because he just simply didn't let his hands go. And you don't let your hands go, you're not going to win the fight. And you don't let your hands go against Devin Haney, you're not active, you're definitely not going to win the fight. And Adrien Broner, he didn't let his hands go in most of his losses. His biggest fight of his career was against Manny Pacquiao. And he didn't let his hands go. And there was plenty of openings for Adrien Broner to let his hands go and be active and be successful against Manny Pacquiao. but he just didn't do it. Okay, in all his losses. Okay, outside of the Marcos Maidana fight, Adrien Broner, at lack of activity, saw him lose those fights. Right now, it's different in my opinion for Kambosos, because the lack of activity on the part of Kambosos, in my opinion, he gets more active. He's going to give more openings to Devin Haney to counter him. And I believe George Kambosos understands that. George Kambosos is aware that if he gets more active and lets his hands go, that Devin Haney's timing, his length, his quickness, I think Devin Haney shocked him, right? Everybody was saying Kambosos has quicker hands than Devin Haney. He's faster than Devin Haney. No, Devin Haney has quicker twitch fiber muscles. He has way better timing. And he's more accurate with his punches. He's more precise with his punches than George Kambosos. So with that said, if Kambosos gets more active, then Devin Haney is possibly going to knock out George Kambosos or start clipping him with big, clean punches that George Kambosos just doesn't want to get hit with. And I think that was the reason why he wasn't very active. And George Kambosos doesn't have the power of an Adrien Broner. Okay, Adrien Broner, he could change the fight with one punch because he has a lot of power. George Kambosos does not have that. Okay, he's herky-jerky activity, and he catches his opponents off guard. So let's see how this plays out and unfolds. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all in one word. That's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. Peace.
Oh, it is your boy Jada Kiss. Make sure you check out Blue Blood Sports TV. It's going down.